What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Hope all is well. Kevin Cage back with another cryptocurrency video. If you find even a little value in this video, I would greatly appreciate a like and subscribe. So today we're going to break down some important points in the recent Q3 market report that Ripple released, talking about, of course, volatility, comparing XRP to some other assets. We will talk about the overall integrations across the board of institutional interest, finding out which players may have big vested interests in not only the overall liquidity in utilizing the XRP ledger, but of course the price appreciation of XRP. There's been, gaming integrations, there's been banking integrations. You should not be surprised one bit. 2020, the year of the digital asset, less than 60 days left. All right, let's get right into it. And also overall liquidity. And also, just to touch on this, we have a lot of exciting things coming up in the weeks ahead. Of course, in early December, we have the XRP Ledger snapshot for the Flare token distribution, and the distribution will be named at a later date. We even have, for Ethereum, 2.0 is set to launch on December 1st. I wish everything goes swimmingly. It's exciting to watch them migrate from proof of work to proof of stake consensus. And we'll also touch on the points in this article over sustainability. We know that the XRP Ledger Foundation is working with who? Energy Web, which is another great crypto asset and great foundation focusing on, of course, energy consumption. This is very important. They're paying attention to what regulators are saying, the World Economic is saying. They're not trying to go outside the system. They're trying to truly change the infrastructure, at least improve the infrastructure within by working with them and from the inside. And I think, at least in banking, where something is, some of these models haven't been changed in 40 years, might be the right way to do things. Now, does it take longer at times, and is it frustrating to wait that long? Yes, but do I believe the upside will more than pay for it? Absolutely. And that is just my opinion, guys. Please do your own research, question everything I share with you in this video. All right, enough ranting. So Q3 2020 XRP Markets Report, we have this whole, introduction of this line of credit, this LLC for on-demand liquidity customers. On-demand liquidity is the specific software product that utilizes XRP for on-demand liquidity. Pretty, self-explanatory. So now right here, just to break through a few points, with line of credit, customers can purchase XRP from the company Ripple on credit. So think of it utilizing a credit card to pay for XRP when you need it, which provides capital up front to help accelerate their business performance and scale. LOC has been piloted by ODL customers, and the initial feedback is overwhelmingly positive. Companies can use the capital to further invest in their business to enter new markets, again, new corridors as well, and reach new customers. Now, this is very powerful for a lot of customers. We've heard Siam Commercial Bank, one of the largest banks in Thailand, say, with Ripple, we've gone from 3 to 5 days to payments to, same day real-time payments. We have, Ripple partner Neom expanding in Africa, working with MoneyGram, which is another huge Ripple partner. So very exciting to see that RippleNet partners are scaling and growing despite this global pandemic occurring. I think that's very interesting, very telling. And as we know, real-time payments are more important than ever. And of course, shutdowns across the globe are only pointing towards them and showing, how old and inefficient some of the technology is. And it's only common sense that we need to work on solutions to make this more appropriate to today. All right, so right here, in some instances, XRP does originate from Ripple, so they're buying from Ripple instead of just, an open exchange. Now, ideally, we would love for demand to grow and grow and grow, where these RippleNet customers are actually just going in the open market, buying XRP when it's high enough volume and in demand consistently. That is a very good thing. Let's just say you understand what happens when an increase in demand consistently goes up and supply dries up. All right, so to initiate cross-border payments at scale, ODL will evolve as Ripple continues to provide innovative financial solutions that leverage XRP to solve pain points for its customers. Understand, without XRP, Ripple is just a payments company utilizing, fancy Swift GPI type of stuff that, obviously Swift GPI stole Xcurrent's technology, which is Ripple's. But XRP is their secret sauce, I should say, and that's what they've been quoted to say, XRP plus ILP. All right? So we'll keep going here. I'll try to be faster if I'm talking about some old news, so apologies. But as indicated in 2020, we have Ripple purchasing and may continue to purchase XRP to support healthy markets. So everybody's saying that we're dumping and selling on the market. Break down the numbers. Look at Jed McCaleb's actual XRP selling pressure. That is just a common FUD point that a lot of, Bitcoin maximalists will push. And Bitcoin has been doing well. I really do wish it just keeps soaring. I know many people are anticipating that some of that money will start leaking into the alts and, pushing them upward. To each their own. I just want this market to finally get moving for good. I'm just sick of waiting. All right, so long term, Ripple's building new on-demand liquidity capabilities dynamically source XRP liquidity from the open market, not just Ripple. So that's what I took to be very important from that statement. All right. We can speed through this boring stuff. Overall, just kind of talking about the sales if you guys want to keep up with it. What's important to note is, we have sales, of course, on-demand liquidity related sales. So interest is growing to $81 million versus $32 million. All right. But now the cool thing is this: we want volume to go up, up, and up, where eventually it'll, create some pressure on price to push it up. So we have right here Q2, and this is in millions, but what I want to see is this total XRP volume. We went from about 18 billion to 37 billion in XRP volume. Now, keep in mind, a very important point to note is how you're measuring volume. There's a bunch of wash trading going on. We understand the DeFi bubble was, massive just a few months ago, and now most assets have retraced 60%, even according to this Ripple article where they say that. Much of the volume today is tether volume and wash trading. It is essentially fake. So how do you properly value a market when there is so much manipulation and it is quite artificial at this point? Now, it doesn't mean it's not going to explode in the future, but I'm just saying that, there's a lot of things they need to fix. So right here, Ripple continues to evaluate its benchmark given challenges such as fake volume that continue to persist in the industry. And that's exactly what, the point I'm trying to make. All right. Certain wallets. Again, I highly recommend reading through this. Just wanted to share this. You guys can keep track of all of this. Now let's see the next point here. So overall, with this rolling 30-day standard deviation of daily returns. Now, understand XRP as a bridge asset with 3 to 5 seconds being transferred, maybe 1 to 2 minutes on each side. It's a no-brainer versus waiting 2 days or 5 days. Of course, trust is another benefit, immutability. You can go on and on and on. And of course, transparency within itself. Today we send, payments, even if it takes a day, you don't know where the heck it is or when the heck it's going to arrive. And there's no standard messaging. We know the ISO framework is pushed and pushed and pushed. And I know it keeps getting delayed and it's frustrating, but yeah, that's messaging. XRP is settlements. You need these two, parts to really complete the circle. So right here, Q3, notice XRP's volatility is higher than the others. Now, that does not mean it's a bad thing for actual, real time. This is just a deviation. So right here, their standard deviation of the daily returns over Q3 was 3.5%, representing an increase in volatility from Q2 of 3.0. And we have Q1 6.2's volatility, which is crazy. But of course, we, had that crazy, market crash. We had, shutdowns, all of that. And then also higher than Bitcoins of 3.2% and 3.3. So we're at 3.5. So I know someone's going to say this and go, XRP is more volatile on this, daily return, blah, 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 blah. As a bridge asset, it is still the best option. And even for people for arbitrage, which we'll go over, it is still better to utilize XRP as that medium of exchange rather than sending Bitcoin to another exchange right now, waiting 30 minutes or 2 hours and spending $30 in fees rather than pennies. And that's just my argument. And you're actually seeing more traders utilizing XRP. Even Ethereum traders are actually utilizing XRP to send to other exchanges, and even trading bots are doing the same thing, all automated. Very cool. All right, so let's keep going here. And this is what I wanted to touch on. So these integrations, this liquidity update, we can see right here. Last quarter saw the continued evolution of XRP infrastructure. It's not just Ripple, guys. I know you're looking at XRP and you're like, oh, we're, staying in this channel of 20, 30 cents, or, we've been under, $1 for this many years. Stay focused on what is, happening. When in doubt, zoom out, look at the infrastructure being built. These institutions, these banks, these, platforms are not doing this for fun. All right. Speculation is only going to take the market so far, but in combination with utility, it is on. Speculation will increase even more as well, which will be good. So FTX integrated the XRP USD spot listing and began accepting XRP as collateral for all derivatives. That within itself is huge. And now we have right here, FTX now holds the largest market share of XRP open interest. We've seen across the board, even new, perpetual contracts available. There's liquidity coming, and market makers are like, XRP is getting their attention, believe it or not. I wish it happened overnight like all of us, but I would much rather have a strong foundation before truly skyrocketing. All right. Also, Binance's interests. Yep. So inverse perpetual swaps, as I just mentioned, collateralization, etc. We can talk about Flare. Very exciting. Using the trustless aspect and actually bringing smart contracts to the XRP ledger without, of course, having a trade-off and actually hitting it with congestion. It'll still be able to do the same thing. It will have ETH's ability and XRP's speed and cost. To me, it's just a no-brainer. I just believe XRP will do exceedingly well. It's not about it beating other assets and beating your crypto. I'm just here to diversify and own assets that I believe in for the long term. All right. And then also, here's the perfect example of arbitrage trading that I was talking about. Notice a preferred base currency, meaning XRP is just that typical currency you'll want to go to before switching to another or sending to exchanges or to, peer-to-peer. And this is just data. This isn't, me saying XRP is a preferred base currency. We already went over the stats months ago when the rise was already, coming. So right here, for example, XRP, using it as a bridge currency across trading venues, allows traders to substantially reduce the time needed to, and so more importantly, the related volatility exposure. So on the 30-day deviation, we saw XRP had more volatility. That's on 30 days overall. When you're actually sending between exchanges, you guys understand this is within seconds or minutes rather than 2 hours with Bitcoin. And I'm not bashing Bitcoin. I'm grateful for Bitcoin because it led to innovation. It led to all these altcoins. Now we're leading to even bigger things coming. Bitcoin got the attention, but now these alts are going to bring the utility. And if Bitcoin's a store of value and skyrockets, awesome. I wish it well. I feel no threat towards it. I am here for an ROI. Me riding, Algorand from 25 cents to 50 cents is a 100% return rather than Bitcoin from 10K to 20K. I just feel that the alts with lower market cap are going to be a lot easier to move when utility is couples with this market. All right. So comparing Bitcoin, Ethereum, we can see, charts in the chart below of an asset transfer over $10,000, for example, you can see originating from Coinbase to Binance, what's faster. So withdrawal time is the light blue. Takes a while for Bitcoin to, withdraw. Ethereum, XRP a little longer, but it makes up for it in the overall ledger movement and deposit speed. So overall, there's no contest, at least talking about, intra-exchange arbitrage. Very interesting. Now, I highly recommend you guys looking at this right here. XRP across the selection of major exchanges can go as low as 18 seconds, utilizing Bitstamp to hit BTC. Almost said HSBC, the bank. All right, very interesting. Where exchange withdrawals are the lowest. This is something that I value as a trader, or just utilizing utility to move. If I wanted to get on KuCoin, for example, and I was in a rush, I don't want to send Bitcoin there. Maybe not even Tether and wait 10 minutes or 5 minutes. I would want to get XRP, send it there ASAP, and then trade it back into Tether, Bitcoin, etc. But keep in mind, it really depends, because if you keep trading it between 3 different pairs just to get to your direct pair, you're going to get hit with fees. So you're going to have to, weigh it on a case-by-case basis as a trader to see if it'd be worth the time. All right. Next up, so right here, XRP Ledger Foundation, of course, we talked about all the exciting things they have going on with, Ripple, Coil, GateHub, donations, essentially involving, developers, public and private enterprises. And it's a social initiative focused on financial inclusion and sustainability, all focused on bringing adoption and SDKs and builders to the XRP Ledger. I'm excited. I don't see any reason why, I'd give up on this asset class. And if you're here for, 1 year, 6 months, 3 years, to me, this is just the worst time to give up. You are finally seeing what is happening across the board with institutional interest and regulations. And it might take even longer, but I think it's going to be well worth it. So stay focused. All right. Ripple partnered with leading technology and conservation organizations, Energy Web Foundation, which is huge, and XRPL Foundation. We've talked about them, their aims and goals and roadmaps of going carbon neutral, decarbonizing the XRP ledger. I mean, you guys can go through the stats of terawatt hours, I should say, between consumption. And I think you guys are going to understand that Bitcoin currently, with its, proof of work consensus, it's essentially, if it becomes a global standard or even much bigger, it's already equivalent to powering an entire country. And, the regulators, the powers that be, I don't think they want that. So maybe it will migrate, who knows what. I'm just saying that for institutional adoption, I'm rooting for XRP for at least solving this part in the payment space. There can be other killers and apps and, micro alts and, DeFi, and I wish them well. This is just going to be one of my long-term holds because I believe in it. It has the strongest fundamentals in the game going since, 2012, 2013, if not even all the way to 2004 if you want to stretch it. Okay, and to finish things up, guys, I want to talk about some market commentary right here. So, crypto as an inflation hedge, we're seeing groups across the board, institutions talking about this. You have, Paul Tudor Jones, you have all these big players basically just, bringing attention to Bitcoin, let alone Bitcoin flying past and even hitting 16,000, bringing additional attention to the market. Volatility is, some people think it's scary. Traders see it as an opportunity to make money, and this is going to bring more attention to the everyday people, where eventually, just like in 2017, grandma is going to ask, what is Bitcoin? What's a Bitcoin? And that is a good thing for all of us. All right. Next, continued institutional adoption. We've already talked about it. We know Fidelity's doubling down. We talked about, Standard Chartered, all of these big groups. And then also MicroStrategy, a NASDAQ listed tech company. They purchased over 425 million BTC during this quarter. Now, remember, I showed you why this is just a game of manipulation to entice buyers. So you have to question everything and look at, every perspective as well. So please just come to your own decisions and always keep an open mind. And wow, I am having crazy deja vu right now. Like, it's absolutely insane. But all right, so last but not least, guys, rise of DeFi, talking about all of this, decentralized finance, distributed finance. In July and August 2020, there were some coins that just absolutely crushed it, that were up, hundreds and hundreds of percent. And the total value locked up in the space rose sharply from $2 billion to $11 billion. This is, huge attention in terms of, record volumes. We have, hype. All of us, we're more connected than ever on Twitter and social media. We're sitting at home mostly, and we're seeing all of this. There's people that have lost money. There's platforms and exchanges and projects that, ran away and hid, and they just did, huge runaway scams. It's all of this. So there's going to be good and bad, and all of this chaos is going to lead to market growth and maturity overall. And of course, they call it this DeFi bubble deflated. They don't really consider it a burst, causing most assets, not all, because there's some that are still crushing it in the space, to retrace as much as 60% from their highs. Now, if assets did retrace 40%, 30%, 60%, it does not mean they are a bad project. Please understand, all that I went through in this video was about what? Fake volume, DeFi bubble, Tether volume, printing nonstop. Just understand what's occurring here. And I'm not saying Tether's printing nonstop right now. I'm saying in, the history, we saw how much, they actually printed. And just so you guys know, my personal reasons, I trust USDC by Circle over Tether any day of the week. Just a personal choice. If you want to disagree with me, that is completely fine. It's just a preference of mine. But just understand, if assets did dip and are coming down, and or even some are, finally going back up again, it does not mean they are a bad project. All right. Current price does not dictate future value, future utility. Just want to say that because I know there's a lot of younger people in this game, and they'll say XRP is a garbage coin because it only went up 10% this week versus mine. And that has nothing to do with it. In the future, utility will crush everything. And those that understand the fundamentals and actually have control over their emotions are going to make a killing. Wish you guys well, and I will see you in the next video.